Hey, what's up guys, welcome to another Python 3 tutorial, and in today's tutorial we are going to look at sets, and later on in this tutorial we'll be doing booleans. So let's get started. What are sets? Well, sets are a collection of unordered pair of unique elements. So let me show you how you can create a set. So first create a variable. So I'm going to say my set, which is equals to, then to create a set you need to use set then parenthesis. Now if I run this code and if I type my set, it will return me an empty set. Now if I wanted to add any value to my set, what I can do is I can say set dot add and 1. Now if I look at my set, then it has 1 inside it. Now notice these parentheses, these are similar to dictionaries, but a set is not a dictionary because it does not have key value pair inside it. So if I wanted to add another value, what I can do is I can say my set dot add 2, and if I look at my set again, and now it has 1 and 2 inside it. Now if I wanted to add one more value, let's say I wanted to add 1 again, what I can do is I can type 1 and run this code. Now you'll see that nothing changes in this set because sets are unique. So what that means is that you can only have unique values inside a set. Now there's one more thing, I cannot declare my values inside this set as it is, because if I try to do it, it will return me an error. So let me show you what I mean by that. So if I say 1, 2, 3, and if I try to run this, it will return me an error because sets, while declaring a set, you cannot add multiple values. But what I can do is I can convert this into a list, and if I now run it, so now my list was converted into this set. Now since sets only have unique values, so I can use that to my advantage. Suppose I had this list. Now if I run this code, my list has multiple values. What I want to do is I only want unique values inside my list. So what I can do is I can convert my list into a set. So as you can see, when I converted my list into a set, so all the values were so my list was converted into a set of unique values. Now if I wanted to convert it back into a list, what I can do is I can enclose this into list, and that will return me a list of unique values. So keep that in mind, that if you wanted to convert your list into a list of unique values and you do not want any duplicates, you can just use set for that. And that's it for sets. Now we are going to move on to booleans. So booleans as a data type, you won't use that too much because they are not very useful on their own, but we do use them for comparison statements. For example, if you wanted to compare something to something, you can use that you can use booleans to check if your result is true or false. So booleans are only true and false values. So let me show you what a boolean looks like. So if I type true, so now this is a boolean. Notice that I have written capital T instead of small. Well, there's a reason for that, because in Python booleans have capital starting letters. So if I try to type true with small t, it will give me an error because I haven't declared any variable named true, and booleans are only true with capital T. So I can also declare false, and it is also with a capital F. So remember that booleans must always start with capital letters, and there are only two booleans, true and false. So now let us look at how we can use booleans. So suppose you wanted to compare something. For example, if I wanted to say 1 is equals to 1. So equals to is a comparison operator, and if I run this now, it will return me a boolean. So since 1 is equals to 1, and it will return me a true boolean. So if I said 1 is equals to 2, now this will return me a false value because 1 is not equals to 2. So I can say that 1 is not equals to 2 and that will return me true again. So other than that, I can say 1 is smaller than 2 and that is also true, so it will return me a true value. And I can say 1 is greater than 2. So this kind of stuff is useful when you are dealing with conditional statements, which we will look at in the coming lecture. For now, just know that Booleans only have true and false values, and those values must have capital letters in capital starting letters. So other than that, notice that so when I try to use true, it showed me that name true is not defined. Well, to fix that, what we can do is we can type it, we can set it to none. So none is a data type in Python, and it is used when you want to declare a variable but you don't know what its value is going to be. So you can just set it to none. Now if I try to print true, it will give me nothing because true is set to a none type variable. So that's it for data types in Python. So next I'm going to tell you about the type function. So suppose you are working with a data type and you do not know what is the data type of that variable. So what you can do is you can check using the type function. So to do that, let me first create some variables. For example, I can say a is equals to 1, b is equals to 1.0, c is equals to a, d is equals to a list, and e is equals to a dictionary, f is equals to a tuple, then we can say g is equals to a set. Now if I run this and I want to know the data types of all these variables, what I can do is I can say type and then put the variable name inside the type function, and it will return me the type of that variable. So I can check for b, and that's a float, and then I can say c, which is a string, and it will return me an str. And next one is a list, so d, and it will tell me that my variable type is list. Similarly for e is a dictionary, f, and f is a tuple, and g, which is a set. Okay, so other than that, we have the length function. So if you wanted to know the length of anything, for example, let's say we want to know the length of this set, my set. So what we can do is we can say length, then inside the bracket I can pass length, and that will return me the length of my set, that is 3. I can also get the length of my list, and length function by default counts the number of elements inside the list, and for strings it will count the number of characters inside that string. So if I take this if I take this and put this inside length function, it will return me the length of my list, that is 7. So you can also find out the length of a dictionary. For example, I can say list is equals to 1. Now if I try this, since my dictionary only has one key value pair, it will return me the length of 1. Now if I try to add another one inside it, I can say a is equals to 0, and it will return me a 2. So one more thing, if I try to add a key that already exists in my dictionary, so the key that I have entered at the end will be the one that will be kept, and the one that I entered before will be lost. So this is what I will get if I set a is equal to 0 first, and then add another key value pair that has a key of a and value of 5. So my value will be 5 because I entered 5 after I entered 0. Okay, so that's it for today's tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below, and if you thought this video was helpful, you can subscribe, and if you want to know every time I drop a new video, you can turn on the notification, and I'll see you in the next video.